Dome or automation. During the 90s, our family moved to Maui. I got a job working for the Heliacal Observatory. Boeing was the subcontractor. The Air Force operates the Maui Space Surveillance Complex. The Air Force was tracking space debris and satellites. One of my first projects was a dome automation system. Imagine at midnight we would have a dome operator, which would have a switch to moor the dome clockwise or counterclockwise. During the winter it would get extremely cold. The operator would be wearing a snowsuit. At times during an important pass, they would doze off and fall asleep. I was instructed to automate this process. My friend Paul was charged with the overall hardware design, and I was assigned to the software side. The program was written in C++, which I was not familiar with. Anyway, we had a short timeline to pull this off. Paul and his crew installed barcode readers around the dome. We had an IBM pizza box that we used. The basic formula was we had to take the AZ pole and deck positions and calculate where the dome should move to. At times we had to force the dome to go super fast, and when we got to our destination we had to slow down and they stopped. We had to make fine adjustments along the way. When we first tested out this system we would hear a hum when we were stationary. We quickly fixed this. The system was installed on time. The system was so successful that we had another dome that was requested to have the same software and hardware installed. Here's a photo of my surfing buddy and co-worker at the observatory, Bob Brem. He has a mentor for robotics at Baldwin High School. I remember one day I went up to the observatory and they were looking at a tape from the past evening. The past evening a UFO was spotted on Maui. It was reported on the evening news. Several of the people who investigate this kind of phenomenon had no clue what the object was. They said nobody on Earth makes anything like this. I had a couple of close surfing friends who worked there. We worked for 10 hours a day. This included drive time. The ride up the mountain was incredible. As you drive up you can see both sides of the island. Rainbows would appear and disappear. We would drive in vans and take turns driving. One of my bosses was a surfer, so on good days we would go surfing and then drive up the mountain. Because it was an observatory, no light was allowed. Imagine coming home and seeing thousands of stars. We would listen to Hawaiian music. My favorite singer was Israel Komakawiwo'o. I saw him in concert twice and listened to him on the radio. He played the ukulele and had this voice from heaven. His medley of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. What a Wonderful World is famous worldwide. It took time to get to know the Hawaiians. As I spent time with them, they would open up and become your friend. Many of them seem to not care about you, but in time they open up their hearts to you. I loved the Hawaiian spirit. They are a culture of family and friends. Surfing was a way of life for them. The ocean was in their blood. Whether people believe it or not, they descended from the Lemuria, which was the first ancient race. Many of the Adam and Eve concepts come from this ancient culture. To this day, the magic and mana continue. Many of the kahuna to this day believe in Lemuria and its ancient culture. One of my favorite surf spots was Porkakolo near Wailuku. It is a river mouth reef break. One day I surfed it in the morning and it was for 2.6 Hawaiian. The Hawaiians measure the wave by the back, so a 4-foot wave to them is 2 feet. Anyway, the swell then went to 6 to 8 feet and then 10 to 12 feet. The waves were so large that when they broke the ground would shake 25 feet below. I remember that one huge set came in and I was in the right place at the right time. I paddled hard and I dropped in easily. I did a bottom turn and this huge wave tunneled over me. I was riding with pure delight. My friends were in the channel paddling, and they were screaming with joy at what they were seeing. It was probably the best wave of my life. It took a long time to make it to shore. When I did, many of the surfers wanted to kiss the ground because of how large it got in such a short period. My family loved Maui. We lived in upcountry Makawao. You didn't need air condition or a heater. Where we lived we had a huge avocado tree, bananas, oranges and passion fruit. We lived in Maui for 6 magical years.